it's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 9 of The Walking Dead. This is going to be my final predictions video when it comes to the Pikes scene that we're going to see in this next 2 episodes. Most likely in the upcoming episode for tonight, Season 9 episode 15, called The Calm Before. Now, before jumping into this video, I do want to put out a spoiler warning for non-comic readers, because this video will contain a lot of comic storylines and a lot of comic spoilers that will most likely be adapted in the TV show. So if you're not a comic reader, or if you don't want to know about comic material, this is your official spoiler warning. So with that out of the way, let's jump right into this. So the first thing I do actually want to say is be aware of what you're reading or watching online, because aside from comic spoilers, there's tons and tons of spoilers for the actual episode that have surfaced. So just be vigilant, be aware of what you're reading online, and you don't want things spoiled for you if you don't want to know spoilers, which is obviously the case for me. And if you don't know, this channel is a no spoiler channel, so do not put any spoilers in any video. But obviously there's no way for me to control everything. I can't just go through everything and remove them because it'll spoil it for me. So I ask you guys not to put any spoilers, but I do also ask you guys to be aware of what you're reading, because I can't guarantee that there is going to be no spoilers on there. I've tried my best, and I think I'm so far successful at avoiding spoilers, but there's just so many predictions and rumors and speculations coming out which are actual spoilers, and they're like spoilers being presented as speculation and prediction. So I do have a feeling that 2 of the predictions that I've received from people in the comment section, or people just putting stuff out there, are actual spoilers. So there's 2 specific characters that it's just out of nowhere for them to be in anyone's predictions. So I'm leaning more towards those being spoilers. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but that's just the way I feel. Now, they are not in my predictions list, obviously, because like I said, it seems like it's out of nowhere. But be aware in general of the spoilers that are out there, and don't be surprised if you read comments and something gets spoiled for you. But in terms of characters and some of the main deaths that we're going to see, I have a list here. Now, I don't think all of these characters are going to die, but these are just a list of all potential candidates that might end up getting killed in the episode that we're going to see tonight with the Pikes scene. So we have Rosita, DJ, the Savior, Nabila, Jerry, Carol, Kelly, Tammy, Enid, Ezekiel, Luke, Gabriel, Tara, Henry, Ozzy, and Alden. Some of these have been thrown around as predictions, which might be spoilers, like I said, and I do have those in there as well, because it wouldn't make sense for me not to put them. But again, I'm not gonna exactly say who it is. But in terms of my predictions, I've shared my predictions and my thoughts before, but just to kind of give my final predictions, I think these people that I have highlighted and read are most likely going to die. They are at a higher risk of dying. Now, one thing, I don't have Ezekiel on there. There's one main reason, and that's because they are telling us that we're going to see a big death in the finale, and I'm starting to think, I don't agree with it, but I'm starting to think that maybe they're not going to have Ezekiel in that Pike scene, but end up giving him another huge death in the finale. Much like what they did with Abraham back in Season 6. They replaced his comic death and they gave it to Denise, but they ended up giving him the Negan lineup Lucille death scene. So I think they might be doing something similar with Ezekiel, and they're not going to kill him in the Pike scene, but they're going to kill him as an aftermath of the Pike scene, as another additional death that wasn't there in the comic book. Now, it is a little different than the Negan scene, because the Negan scene, both of those deaths that I mentioned did happen. But I do think they're going to do something similar to that. Now, I absolutely believe that Ezekiel's death is necessary before going into the war with the Whisperers. One of the key reasons is that Ezekiel is the one hosting this fair. He's the one bringing all communities together. He's the one that is linking all of these communities in a way together. So if the Whisperers kill Ezekiel, this would be a great way, and it would be the most impactful way to bring all of these communities together, to unite them, to fight against the Whisperers and to defeat them. So that's the key reason why I think Ezekiel needs to be either in the Pike scene or as the big death that we're going to see in the finale. Now, the others I'm going to run through real quick. Rosita, I still think Rosita is going to die. They've hinted at it, and also think about it. Rosita's death is going to impact multiple characters. Gabriel, Siddiq, and Eugene. So it's not just that her death is going to hit one person. It's going to impact multiple people. DJ, he's the savior, and I put him on the list because I think he's a great background character that's been there, but, you know, he's a great one to kind of kill, to have his death impact the remaining saviors in some way. Then I have Nabila. Nabila's death is a great, I think, death to impact Jerry and Carol and Ezekiel and move all of their stories forward. Now, obviously, for Ezekiel, he's going to die most likely early on, if my predictions are true, after this death. So this won't really apply to Ezekiel. But for Jerry and Carol, this definitely applies. Now, they could replace Jerry for Nabila, but I think because they're killing a lot of big characters this season, they might not necessarily want to kill another fan favorite, Jerry. So I think Jerry is safe. The next character I have is Tammy Rose. They have set up her death almost to the T. Everyone thinks that she's gonna die. She's in everyone's predictions. She has given us hints, the actress playing her, that she's gonna die this season. So I think it's a no-brainer to put her on the list. Next is Luke. When it comes to Magna's group, I believe Luke has the most likelihood of dying. He has the highest chance of getting killed during the Pike scene. He's becoming a fan favorite, which is great, which means that his death will definitely impact us. Next, I have Tara. Now, for Tara, I was on the fence because I was like, I could see them kill her off. I could see them getting her to live on after this. But at this point, I just think it fits for them to kill Tara off. I don't think there's any kind of reason for them not to be killing off Tara at this point. Then we have Ozzy, the Highwaymen leader. Now, obviously, I think, like everyone or most people, the Highwaymen were introduced to end up dying in the Pike scene, or most of them. So I don't think it's a surprise that Ozzy is in my list. Ozzy is another one that is most likely going to die during the scene. Then I have Alden. Alden, not only is he one of the ex-saviors again, but also his death is going to impact Enid and move her story forward. So I think that if they don't do anything weird and switch it around a little bit, Alden is most likely going to be the one that's going to end up getting killed in the Pike scene. Now, other than these characters, there's another one that I don't have here because they're just such a small character that I didn't see a reason for me to put on here. And that's one of the teens at the hilltop, the one that befriended Henry. I think from the 3 teens that we saw, one of them is most likely going to end up on the Pike scene. Who is it going to be? I'm not sure. Your guess is as good as mine. But I think most likely one of those teens are going to end up on the Pikes. But these are my list. I think we're going to see 9 people in the Pike scene as opposed to the 12 that we saw in the comic book. But they might throw some more background characters in there that might add to the quantity of the deaths that we're going to see. But in terms of my predictions, that's my prediction. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.